Libra, this full moon was not an easy one for you. Uh, it illuminated, revealed the common denominator in every relationship that has hurt you. This is because it mirrored back to you this loop that you've been in of picking the same person in a different body. And we're going to talk about it. My name is Jackie. I'm the holistic mentor. This is the emotional alchemy channel where we use the stars, the sky, and tarot to do the inner work. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. If you want to see how this applies to your particular situation, link in bio to book a session with me. But let's get going because the seventh house is what you attract. So who you partner up with, not just romantically, but in business, one-on-one dynamics. And Saturn here is ending misaligned relationships. And you know what? Thank God for that, Libra. It's been a long time coming. But also, it is also slowly building solid relationships for you. So, today's reading is, what you need to hear today, what needs to be revealed, further revealed if you didn't, catch the assignment, what needs to be released, and, how can we help you to get you through this? Because it's a tough transit. You're looking at like, what did these people, what did these situations have in common? Because that's where it's at. The commonality of all of these people, places, and things. That's where the wound is. It's not them. People are going to be who they're going to be. It's the pattern. It's what you keep choosing. It's what you keep attracting. So let's see what you need to hear today. We're going to start with the Wisdom of the Oracle deck and then move into Tarot. Let's get to it, Libra. Clean it up. This is a number 3 card of, it's 21, but 2 + 1, 3, creation. Breathe. 29, number 11 here, master number. Some of you needed to come back to yourself, regroup, round and round. Yeah, can't make this up. Here's the pattern coming up. Bottom of the deck, chop wood. Yeah, the universe saying it's time to clean it up. It's time to, release old baggage, tie up loose ends, move away. You already know you've been illuminated here. Let's dive into the tarot and see what messages want to come through for you, Libra. I think that you're noticing like, staying in relationships past their expiration, or, you see the red flag and you keep it going, all of those things. Libra rules your lower back and your kidneys here. So if you've been having issues around that, take that as information and data. There is misalignment there that needs to be looked at, but let's go. 3 of Pentacles, Page of Swords, the Fool. Yeah, I see this new beginning. Like, listen, Saturn and Neptune are coming to disrupt and to give you some truth, but they're also helping you build new foundations and, by extension of your experience and, everything that you've learned, with the Page of Swords here, this is like an initiatory, student kind of energy. And with the 3 of Pentacles here, this is like, going into a new community, like trying to figure out like, okay, I have all this knowledge now. I see the wound very clearly. I see my patterns very clearly. Now it's time for me to move from it into a new beginning here. So this is good, Libra. I like this coming in for you. 8 of Pentacles, 9 of Cups here, Page of Swords, 10 of Wands, Judgment, 7 of Swords. Here we go. Bottom of the deck, Queen of Pentacles. So this underlying energy of the Queen of Pentacles, this energy, she's the mother energy, right? This is earthbound energy. She is very focused on her coin. She creates her own stability. She is self-resourced. And I think that by way of you having these shenanigans with romantic partners, friendships or whatever, has really disrupted your stability, maybe even your financial stability here. We have the Nine of Cups here in the middle of the deck, and typically this is wish fulfillment. But the way that I'm seeing this, I see the Page of Swords, the Nine of Cups, and then right below it is Judgment Day. This can also be interpreted as like wanting to win at all costs. And so you have the Eight of Pentacles, the 9, 8, 9, and then the Page of Wands. So this is something saying like, listen, it takes time to get to know people. It takes time to build, and understanding that like when you see this smugness around people, this winning at all costs competition or whatever, with the Page of Wands, the Page of Wands to me is this card that says not everything that glitters is gold, right? Like this, at the end of the day, this figure here is dressed up, looking some way, but at the end of the day, they're a page. They might have some growth there. I mean, they're not, you know, uh, what's the word? I want to say like, they're not hobos or anything like that, but like, or they might be in some cases, but there is something there, and I think that you've at times have mistaken that, because then you have the Page of Wands and the Seven of Swords here. So this could be, your own projecting, what you see on them, versus what they actually are, not having clarity around that. And there's a new beginning around that. Judgment coming in and awakening around that, a new sense of clarity around this. Seeing some, for me, I feel like this transit here, the mirror was so impactful, so in your face, that there was something that, was just, you cannot unsee it, is basically what I'm saying. And you are done. Enough is enough here, Libra. I think that, you've got to the point where it just doesn't feel good anymore. It's just, you don't have it in you to keep recycling these experiences anymore. I feel that, if you stayed in relationship that stopped working, probably, one of the reasons why you stayed was because leaving required you to admit or to look at that, wound of why you picked it and why you stood. And so it takes you back to that original place where you learned that love, however you learn that love looks like. And, if you have learned that love looks like you have to prove yourself, or you have to earn it, or manage somebody else's survival moods, then, it's not been an easy transit by no means. But let's see here. What else do we have for my Libras here? Knight of Swords, the Empress, the Magician, Nine of Swords here. A lot of sword activity. The High Priestess, the Moon. I do see somebody, a knight, coming back in, possibly. This is something that's being manifested. I do feel, though, like you already know, I doubt, like we have the Round and Round card here. I guess use your discernment. But, this coming in real quickly for you guys. If you haven't, if you've been in this pattern, if you are presently in a dynamic, a friendship or a relationship where you see it very clearly and you quite haven't done anything about it, this week, something will come up that will shift the way that you feel about it, the way that you see somebody, and will finally allow you to release this situation. So let's get you some closing messages here for you. Honoring your true feelings. Yeah, Libra, listen, you already know. You've already felt it in your body. You've already seen it. This is a time for you to self-advocate and honor your feelings. This is not a time for you to negotiate. Obstacles, blocks are being lifted. All your good personal work and your positive energy shift have overcome previous obstacles, and blocks are being lifted away. Trust your intuition. So do not question yourself here. You already know, like you feel it. Trust your body. You know, it's the body that, has the intelligence, and God is your source. All right, Libra, that's what I have for you.